Hi. I know we're a bit early. Thank you for joining us. But I know we're early, but I'm aware that the Convergence quilting has quite a lot of steps to it, and I'm a bit worried about um, not getting them all done. So I thought I would come and talk to you first. And of course, I could have put this up while I was waiting. So, excuse my back. I'm going to put this up here like this. Okay, like that. So, should we pin that in place as well? I love this quilting thing. It's faffy, but isn't a lot of quilting faffy? It's a bit like a Bargello turbo boosted. So, who's there? Hi everybody. How you doing? I'm not going to go hello. But hello. Everybody. Why won't that go down? Why can't I make that? There we are. Oh, there's loads of you. Loads of you. It's lovely. Thank you very much for coming and joining me early. So, Convergence quilting. It's I bought a book. Oh, before I really started quilting, Sarah will tell you, I'm not very good at learning a step, perfecting it, going on to the next step, perfecting that. I think I want to do this, and then off I go, and I go and do it. And I saw a book when we were at one of the quilt shows, and I hadn't long been quilting, if I'd quilted at all, and I decided I wanted this book. And it's a book by Ricky Timms. It's called Convergence Quilts, and they fascinate me, completely fascinate me. And I decided I wanted to do it. Do you think I could find my first one? Couldn't find it anywhere. And this is all about nesting. In order for it to work properly, you need to know the nesting, okay? And I didn't know anything about nesting back then, and it was all over the shop. But it worked quite well. Now, one of the first ones that he does is he actually uses the same fabric, so that it's not a big difference. But we're going to use 4 different fabrics, so I'm not sure how it's going to work. Now, on this one, so there's the book that I'm on about. I'm not sure which way up that goes. Hang on, if I go up there, this will catch up with me in a minute. So it gives you the step-by-steps, and this is the one we're going to do. And it's very good. It tells you step by step how it's all done. Okay. And it's very, it's a simple book, and most of it is done on pictures in the gallery, and he gives you a few ideas. I mean, this is using the same fabric. You know, he's just used the same versions. He does a lot with his own. He dyes his own fabric a lot, according to the book. Right, this is the one that's behind me, and that bit there is the Convergence. And what I did was I took a photo of where I would add that I'm going to do like a border around my Convergence bit, and then I'm going to add the blue fabric on the edges like that, a white here, and then the yellow like that, and it sort of frames it and looks as if it goes in, out, whatever. Now, because I was using fat quarters, I used because because I was using fat quarters, there's an awful lot of fabric there. So I cut it down at, you have to cut it like you do with a bargello, and I cut 2 1 inches, 2 1.5 inches, 2 2s, 2 2.5, that way. So I've cut down on the size of fabric that I'm doing, so we're only doing the one cut, okay? And we'll see whether it turns out any different, okay? So I had this dragon fabric. I had this dragon fabric that I found in my drawer, and I thought I'm going to try it with that. You can use a thing, and it was only 15 inches wide. So I've cut all my pieces at 15 inches, okay? And so I'm going to do that into the one corner, and then this. Then I had a black 15, but it's actually 14 3/4. I had a black one up here and a red one there, which I've already sewn and cut because I'm trying to cut down on the steps. So you need to mark, this is going to be my top, this is my top edge here. So you need to mark it, she says, having not picked up a pen, you need to mark it along the top so that you can see always which one goes at the top. So that if, when you've cut it, especially if you're using completely, fabrics that are very similar, you want to make sure that you always know where the top is, okay? So this is the top of my dragon fabric. This is the bottom of my white. I'm going to put them right sides together and just sew them. This is what I've already done with the other one, okay? So we're going to go over here. So who's there before I go on to anything else? Who's there? It does. I love the. Oh, thanks for Shein, my dress. It's very very smart, isn't it? You got the book. That Jackie, I will. I would love to see your quilt. I would love to. It fascinates me. I mean, bargellos are I like as well, but it's this, just the things that you can do. And he says if you learn the technique and then think about the possibilities. So this will I've got more of the dragon fabric, so I could embed, expand on that idea. So anyway, enough talking. Let's go over here. So you're going to be using 1/4 inch, and you're just sewing top to bottom. Now let me check that I haven't turned it around. No, that would be just what I would do. She's got so much stuff around here. She's got smaller feet than me, see, Sarah has. So we're going along here. So we're going to the Ivy for tea, for afternoon tea. Just all seems to have come together, doesn't it? Now, one of the things that I did find last night is I'm pulling, where you're cutting small pieces, you tend to be pulling them out of line. No, that's not what I mean at all. Where am I? Here. Where the stitching is, when you're manipulating it, it will unravel. I had to sew a couple of them. So be really gentle with it when you're working it. Now, with the black and red, I cut 1 inch from the inside. So this would sit here and that's going to sit there. I cut 1 inch, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, and then left whatever was left. So for this one, I need to cut the 1.5. She said, just checking. 1.5 from the inside. Yes. Do not unfold the squares. And we're going to cut 1, 1.5, and work my way that way. Let's put that in there. Okay, so I'm going to turn it that way. I'm just checking. I think what we'll do is, she got a long ruler. What we're going to do is we're going to trim off the edge to make sure that it's all level. So I'm just going to take off tiny bit on the edge. Sliver, just a sliver. So turn that round, and I'm going to go from the inside edge, and I'm going to cut 1.5. No, 1, 1.5. 2, 2.5. 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Like that. So I've done those cuts there, and you're going to make sure when you're putting them together, we're going to turn this around like that, and where your largest piece is, you're going to put your smallest piece of the other one, right? So I'm going to put them in like this, and you intersperse them like that. Okay, so you end up with the largest pieces on the very end, like that. And now we're going to sew them together. So you want to make sure that your seams, so my seams on my black ones are towards the white, towards the red, you know, fold them towards the red, and you're going to finger press them. And then the seams on the white are going to go towards the white. Yes. Okay, so you want to make sure that they go opposite. That's what I'm trying to say. So how is everybody? Have you got the sunshine like we've got? It's beautiful here. So we're going to put I'm going to finger press that one so it goes up, and finger press this one so that it goes down. Okay. Now, bearing in mind, I have no idea what this is going to look like when we're finished. So I'm now going to nest my middle seam. Okay, I'm going to nest my middle seam there without pulling it too hard, like that. Click it into position, and we're going to stick a pin in it. Okay, and then I'm going to just work my way up, edge to edge. I'm going to stick another pin in halfway up. Okay, just to keep it in place. And then we're just going to sew all the way down from one end to the other. We're going to do that on all of them. All right, so here we go. So we're off to Cardiff Quilters on Saturday. If anybody's in Cardiff and wants a yoga session, they've got International Yoga Day at Cardiff Yoga Studio. And my husband's doing the 4:30 to 5:30, I think it is. Was it 4 till 5? He's doing that session. So if anybody wants yoga, it's £10, I think, which is a donation, which goes towards yoga, Bushwilla yoga. So there's a lot of just straight line sewing and cutting, and that's what makes it. So I've done that one. We're going to do it quite quickly, okay? Just so that we're, what did I say? Towards the red and towards the white, wasn't it? The back of my quilt is pretty tidy, which makes me happy, because all my seams are all going in the right direction. So this is, like I say, this is a lot of sewing and a lot of not a lot to talk about as we're sewing. So what are you up to? Tell me things. Tell me what you're doing. Seems not very good. What else is going on in my world? It's Father's Day this weekend. Have you any of you made anything for Father's Day? On my Facebook time hop came picture of my dad. We lost my dad. It's nearly 12 years now, and we've got a picture that on one of my mum and dad's holidays, they went off on a camel ride, and I got a picture of my dad sat on a camel, big grin on his face, and he was dressed like Lawrence of Arabia, turban, round the head and all sorts, which was lovely. You're cutting fat quarters, Linda. Yeah, and we're not there to crack the whip for you. She's a good egg. Taking your husband out for lunch. Well, it's a good job I'm early then, isn't it, Janice? Where are you off to for lunch? We're going to the Ivy, you know. Although Sarah's been looking and there's strawberries with nearly everything. So that's going to be a bit of a fiddle around. I suppose really she could have all my things with no strawberries in, and I'll eat her stuff with strawberries in. That's one way of doing it. So of course we've got beautiful weather now, and then when you've got a house full of people for Father's Day, it says it's going to rain. Somebody's alarm's gone off. Jean, you just stopped for lunch on the way to Huddersfield. Oh, there's nice. A ukulele festival. How cool is that? I love that idea. Are you going to be standing on the corner? What is it? Standing on the corner with a... I can't remember. How does it go? Somebody tell me about it. Playing about with an idea for a tooth fairy mat for Jake. What, keep all his teeth? Started some orders from Marketplace. Nice one, Carolyn. I've got I really should be tidying my craft area. I still haven't done it. Oh, no, I'm right. I thought I'd done it upside down then for a while. If I do this, because you don't really need to watch me doing that all the time, do you? I don't know. Can you see me? So I'm just whipping through these. I'll check that the bobbin hasn't run out. Quite thread hungry, this. The other one was. I used 2 full bobbins on the other one. But the blue and the yellow on the one that's on the back is from one of the new boutique ranges. I told you I'd find a project to use it with, didn't I? You could get arrested for that. Very funny. Okay. Do you know these are all really? She changed the size on the what's it called, on the font on the computer, and I'm got to try and find my varifocal range for it. Tempted to do some gardening. No, see, there is no such thing as a weed, really. A weed is just a flower in the wrong place. So if you like it, then keep it. The other thing, Natalie, is you pull everything up and put new down. I like growing things. I don't particularly like weeding or anything. I've got, we're all patioed now. Always having dogs, we found they kept churning the grass up. So we patioed and left areas, you know, I've got an area where my grapevine goes, which is, we're going to have a bumper crop this year. So I might hopefully get round to making wine this year. That would be rather nice. Right, we're going towards the red and towards the white. This is the last one now of the single ones. Oh, the single ladies. So I'm going to put that to that. Yeah, it is that to that. I have to sew it the other way. I'm hoping that I've sewn these all correct while I've been yattering on. When I sew these types of things, I tend to sew 2 and then sew those together. So because I find it easier to to keep an eye on where everything goes. I thought this might be a quicker way of doing it. So Sarah's on Hochanda next week. No? What is it now? Create and Craft. She's on that next week, and she's got the 7 AM and the 12. Don't think she's on the Craft Extra next week. So, oh. Well, when I looked at these, I thought, oh, I need those. I really don't. Oh, rubbish little scissors. Okay, hang on. I'll be back. We could do with a proper studio. Anybody want to give us £500,000 to buy the spa. That would be rather nice. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'm going to iron these out. That's not on steam. Anyway, we're going to iron these out now. We're going towards, I'm going to iron them all towards the black and the red so that they've all gone in the same direction. Okay. I'm getting water everywhere. So I'm going to iron these all the same direction. Yes, George Formby. He sings it while he's making cooking his steak, doesn't he? Oh, yes. Well, that is a problem. Ah, look, I've sewn that on the wrong side. Oh, that's blooming annoying, that is. Okay, where's the pick? Where's the pick? This is because we're trying to be quick today. So you can see where I've sewn it on the wrong side, can't you? So we're going to go and unpick it. So what else you been doing? Oh, if you win the lottery, yes, well, I think you all should be trying the lottery to get me 500,000. Just think of how much space we'd have. We'd be able to go back to making classes. There'd be a special area for Daphne. We'd oh, it's an amazing space. We'd have they've got enough room for us to have a complete office. We could shut Sarah in the office. Linda and I would be able to, run riot then. And there was also a little room for that we could set this up there, so that we're not completely taking over Sarah's house all the time. This is where I put a hole in it, isn't it? So I did say that I didn't know whether I was keeping an eye on it. Probably about then. So that's one of the reasons why you mark the top, is so that you're not, you don't lose where you are, especially if you're using different, very similar fabrics. I don't know about the rest of you, but I find using a seam ripper quite scary. There we go. So we're now going to put that on the other side. Okay. This is true, Liz. We would still soon fill it. Unfortunately, my colleague doesn't like a void. But with the new layout that we've got at the moment, do you know, I don't know which one we're on. With the new layout that we've got at the moment, you can, there's plenty of room for dancing in the, just by the desk. Okay. Here we go. I think what we'll be able to do is once we've sewn these together, oh, all right. You then turn it and cut it again. So we'll be able to do that, and you'll be able to see what it would look like then, roughly, how it would pan out. However, Sarah's had to drive to the Heath. Josh has got an interview, and she's had to drive out to the Heath. Remind me that I need to change the bobbin before I sew any more. All right. So we're going to try again, iron towards the red. Try and get rid of that as well. So the Heath is about a 20-minute drive from here. So we've got 40 minutes. Right. So that one would go there. There's the next one. There's the next one. What else have you all been up to? Start early, just logged on, and you're hard at it. Yes, Anne. I decided that there's so many steps in this. There was no way that I was going to be able to make it. I couldn't prep it any more than I did without losing. Maybe it was that one I did wrong then. No. Oh, come on, girls. This is I'm going to sew this one wrong as well. Have we done all of them wrong? Because this is going to be very annoying if I have. I have. It has to go that way. See? I've picked them up. No. Yes, I have. I've sewn that one wrong as well. I've sewn them all back to front. Which way? Oh, do you know, this is really annoying. It's always haste, 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 and then I get it wrong. Yes, because that's the dragon there, isn't it? And that will go there. Yeah, that's right. That's right. They're all wrong. They're all wrong. So, what did you do with the unpicker? Okay. Have I done any of them right? What did the first one right? Look at that. Done the first one right. But I've done all the others wrong. Okay. So, what's going on? Oh, it's ridiculous. Do you know, I didn't get one wrong at all yesterday. It was incredible. I obviously need to stick to my tried and tested plan and stop changing the plan. At least I don't think I did one wrong yesterday. They all seem to work. So, what I normally do is sew 2 pairs together, then I sew those pairs together. And I changed it up this time. So, okay. We'll get there. We'll get there. Just Just hold on. See, these are supposed to work perfectly. At least I'll be a dab hand at unpicking by the end. So what else is going on in my life? We've done Father's Day. Oh, the holiday. I mean, there's probably no point in me telling you anything about the holiday because you've had Sarah for 2 days. It was amazing. It was really good. I'm still a bit red on some of my extremities, but it was amazing. I think Sarah was going to put up a link to the place we stayed, and if you just want a sit in the sun, do nothing type of holiday, it was perfect. Okay, I'm just going to whip these out now. And the last day we spent wandering around the shops, which I could have done without, really. Okay, we're still ironing towards the red and the black. I think we'll stick to that since I've already done some. So this big iron is quite unwieldy, isn't it? I'll have to club together and get her a... Oh, you didn't tell me to remind me to change the bobbin either, did you? No. You're supposed to keep a better eye on me than this, girls. Is this one of those things where it's more haste, less speed? Oh. Okay. Let's just put... Oh, it was only a little bit, but I lost. Stick that up there, like that. That's worked. Okay. My table has arrived. My sewing machine, when I bought it, it had a free quilting table with it, and I've just had a thing to say it's just arrived at the shop, so that's quite good. So hopefully Linda's looking after it for me. So we'll go like that. That's right. Okay. You still all with me, girls? I'm just doing this like that, and then we'll sew those two together, and at least then I know those two are together. Okay, like that, and then we're going to put these two together, and because we've ironed in separate, do that like that, stick a pin in that. Okay, right. So has anybody been to the Ivy for tea? Afternoon tea? You know, what am I expecting? Apart from lots of strawberries. So just make sure that I'm it's all caught up now. the overhead camera on. Yeah, I will do that after. We put it on like this because I was whipping through, and you don't need to see me sew straight lines. However, you might have been able to see whether or not I've gone wrong. So we're just whipping through this because I've had to unpick half of it, and because I sewed them on the wrong side, and that's not working. Why is that not working? Let's move that there. I'll try that one. Okay. I was so excited about this one too. Okay, let's take that pin out. And we're ironing towards the red, aren't we? Like that. Going to need that again in a minute because I think there was another one wrong, wasn't there? So iron towards the red so that all your seams are going in the right direction, in the same direction. Like that. Okay, so the overhead. There's the overhead. So we are working our way through and we're trying to unpick very quickly the bits that I've done wrong. So what else have you all been up to? You're still with us, everybody. And that's it. I have to, you know, I'll blame you, Pat. I just... Well, at least I've managed to do all this without actually swearing. That's quite good. I've muttered a lot. So just at the thing, yeah. I think Sarah's back as well. Maybe. Okay. So get over the hump. There we go. So it wasn't as if I could just turn it over either. That's all right, sweetheart. You'll be able to fast forward through all the unpicking. Yeah. It's all gone Pete tongs there.
Oh,
I sewed them all on the wrong side.
Oh, honey.
I know.
Oh.
Always when you're in a rush. So we're just doing that. So say hello to your public.
Hi. You can't see me, I'm over here. Hi.
Oh, I'm not put it on here. They don't need to see me doing lots of long lines. They watched the first time round. They don't need to see the second time round. So,
it's looking cool though. I'm liking the dragon fabric.
Yes, I love it. I've had it
a long time, by any chance.
Yeah, I found it. I was looking for the other one that I did. And
which you did in boutiques, because I remember you seeing it.
Yeah. And I was looking for that. I haven't found that. I found 2 dragon fabrics. One's a panel.
Oh, you're probably going to do an attic window or something with it, weren't you?
Probably, yeah. I've always wanted to do an attic window. This is a heavy iron.
It is. It's a pain. I've got to order. Payday tomorrow. I'll order a new iron, new little one. Do you want me to? Do you want me to iron that up there while you're sewing the next one?
Yes.
There we go.
Oh,
let's tag team it.
It's because
I also need the iron. I've got dress to iron.
I've got to unpick it. See, now you can see why we came on early, because
It was going to take forever.
Oh, yeah. I always manage to choose the projects that take a long time. I could have... Oh, look at that. I told you I'd get the hang of it by the end.
You have that one. Do you want me to unpick? What else needs unpicking while you're sewing?
No, well, you could unpick that one and I'll sew those two together.
There you go.
Anyone would think she was in a rush to get a Prosecco in.
We've got to go and celebrate our Jack's birthday.
Yeah, I can't wait. Looking forward to it. Apparently we both look very posh. Well, thank you, Jean.
What, today?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in my scruff, well, not scruff bags, but this is not what I'm wearing.
Not what I'm wearing either. Right, have we put it on the right way? Are you keeping an eye on me now, girls? Okay.
Maybe do it with the charm pack next time, like, 3-inch seams instead of long squinny ones.
Yes,
less to sew.
It is less to sew, but
you need it for the
you need
technique,
it for the to be able to cut it. I mean, I cut down on what I did do originally because it took me 2 evenings.
Yeah, it is a cool technique, though.
Oh, I love it.
The cool technique.
Jackie, one of the Jackies,
yes.
Jackie says she's done one, so she's going to put a picture up for us.
Ooh, yes, please.
And you and your bobbins.
What?
We might not have
I'm
enough
sorry,
bobbin.
did I not prep the entire sewing area for you? How very dare I?
I know.
Right, you have them too. Give me that one.
Don't know which way I'm going. Oh, I've sewn those wrong. No, I haven't. No, I haven't.
Do you need more unpicking?
No. It's because I changed my technique.
Yeah, you have that one back. Here you go.
No, I need to sew that one.
Let's sew this one.
It's because I changed.
Have you got to cut into it again, have you?
Yeah. I know. They'll all got bored and gone out.
Just talk them through that bit, maybe, with using the other one.
I will. Once these are sewn together, we can cut it very easily, and then just sort of
move it around.
See, and I was going to go with the half square triangles and come up with an... Should have done that.
So it's like a Bargello-ish type technique.
It's a Bargello.
So Bargello's Bargello?
Yeah, it's a Bargello's Bargello. Pretty much. But I like the fact that you can still see large bits of the fabric.
I suppose can you just decide which bits you want to, what size strips you want to cut? You don't have to do any particular pattern, nor is there a set pattern?
No, I don't think there is.
Thank you.
That.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
I was trying to be helpful.
It's fine. We'll sort this.
It's a good job you didn't start at 1 o'clock.
Isn't it? We'd still be here at 5. So that's going to go that way. Okay, we agreed now, girls? That's going to go that way. So, on that side, like that. So I thought using 4 different fabrics would make it easier.
Did it not?
Well, it should.
It would if you sewed them right.
If I wasn't talking and sewing at the same time. You know I don't multitask.
I'm starting to think you're actually a man, to be honest. With your man flu and your lack of multitasking.
Well, this is it. Right. I don't.
Well, maybe I've just stolen all your multitasking off you.
No, you've told me what to do for so many years now. I can't think for myself.
Ew, I had nothing to do with this, woman. Nothing to do with this.
Well, I thought, this will be an easy one. Right.
you go. That one, do you want that one back?
What did you do then?
Press the automatic lift rather than you having to keep doing it.
Yeah, but I still do it.
Do you?
Yeah. Even with the automatic lift. Right.
Have you not got used to yours on yours yet?
No. Right. So, go in there. We've got this one.
There you go.
That one is going to go in there. So we're just going to sew these two. So
right. If there's no more ironing, I'm going to go stick some slap on.
Okay. So, which way are we going? We're going that way. So we're going back over. So you can see all the bits, the trails and everything. So it's just simple. It's simple. Honestly, it's simple. And I think I'm going to run out of bobbin, which will be fine as long as it lasts just 2 more bits. So you can see where I'm not getting it. I think as well at home, when I'm sewing at home, I've got my audiobook on. I'm just concentrating on the book and the sewing and not trying to make a conversation. You can see when Sarah comes in and talks that I'm a lot more relaxed. It's this talking to yourself. I'm not very good at it. I'm not a big talker for the sake of talking. So, right, we're that way. Last one now. Last one. So we're going to put that there like that. So up here, and that's the last one, and then we can go from there. So nesting, pinning my nest, and then making sure that you're all lined up all the way up the thingy. All the way up the thingy. And next week, I'm off for a hen do, which I'm very much looking forward to. We're staying for 4 days in a yurt. So I've timed it that I missed the packing for 3 acre craft as well. I'm going to leave Sarah to all the work. So can you work Friday, Linda? So we're just coming along here. And our Beth hasn't been now either. She's suffering. I think she's had our colds from last week and multiplied it. Okay. Here we go. Here we go now. Oh, and we just about got through without having to change the bobbin again. Okay. So these, let me just iron these out a minute. Okay, so we are at, where's that one? That's that one. So here we go. We've sewn them all correctly now, and we now have our finished one. You're now looking at two new units, okay? Ignore the fact that this is all supposed to run in the same direction. We are now looking at new units, and these are now our tops. So you're going to have to mark these as your top. So you would draw a line all the way along the top here, so that you know that these are the top, so that you're not getting them mixed up and turned round the wrong way so that you're sewing them on the right sides. Okay, but this now, you need to cut your seam, this middle seam, you need to cut that off. So you're going to go quarter of a meter, quarter of an inch, quarter of a meter. That would be a quick one, wouldn't it? So you're going to have to cut quarter of an inch from the seam. Okay, you'll find that. So you're going to do a quarter of an inch from the seam on either side. All right, like that. So you make 2 units once again. All right, so you're doing that there, and that takes that bit of bulk out along there. Okay, so we've taken that bit out. You're now going to cut these again. Now, if I turn that so that it's all in the right direction, you're now going to fold these up like that. And again, you want to cut them with the small piece in the middle. All right, so you're going to cut it so that your 1 inch comes from here and you gradiate that way, and your 1 inch starts here and gradiates that way. So because I'm right-handed, I need to turn this one over. Again, another reason why you mark your top and your bottom of your units. Okay. So I'm going to cut 1 inch there. Cutting 1 inch, 1.5 inches.
Do you like a pattern that create, when you cut it and it makes something else?
Yes, I like the ones where you fold it and create something as well. It's I like the surprise element. Everybody likes a surprise. And then 3 like that. Okay, so we're going to bundle them up like that. We have to remember that these are back to front, and then from this one you need to cut from the inside, so we haven't moved it, she says. I'm going to cut this 1.5. I mean, if you had time to be playing with this technique, it would be lovely to see it cut completely different. 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5.
Yeah, because I can imagine you can get some really interesting optical illusions if you varied the sizes you cut and stuff.
Yeah.
Rather than it being like a really simple, everything's this, it's the same both ways.
Yeah.
Actually, you could play around with it and get all sorts of random things happening.
Right. So we are now going to turn this around and work out. So you want the little one here. Which way was it? We had the white on top, didn't we? So my red would be there. Trying to work out which way my my dragon goes now.
Your dragon's head was in the bottom right, left-hand side when it was laid out a minute ago.
Yes. So it'd be that way. Is it that way? Oh, I don't know. We're just going to lay it out. So my top was the black, and then you've got like that, and then it would be that one.
I never iron clothes. What's going on? The only ironing I do is for patchwork.
That. Like that. Can you see what it is yet? You're not.
Think about who said it, love.
Yeah, but it's iconic. So laying them out so your big pieces, I think it's upside down. Your big pieces are big pieces on the red are with the little pieces on the black. Okay. And I haven't got enough room. So I don't know whether that's worked. Which way round are we? So I'm not sure how well that's worked. Anyway, you would then, I haven't been reading your thingies. Did you do, but maybe you do a part 2. It would probably be a good idea, and I can have a look and see what's going on. But you would then cut them like we did, and then you're going to sew them back together. So looking at the one that we did previously, you can see that you have the predominant of the blue is in one corner and the yellow in another, and it's supposed to all go, merge together, which I think you can see better on there. I will sew this one together, and I will come and show you. We're going back to toys next week. I'll see what I can do with that. So we shall see how that goes, and I hope that, blame the bobbin. It's the bobbin's fault. I thought it was your fault, Pat. So yes, I thought you'd be able to see the dragon more, but I think what I'll do is, I've got more of the fabric. If I put a border around it and add, make it so that it's these bits of the dragon here that would be on the end, if I make it so that the join shows the other bit of the dragon, because I don't think it's worked as well as I thought it was going to. Well, we shall see. Anyway, I'm fed up of talking now. What is the time? We've been doing it for an hour. It's bored of me now. We will see you next week. We might give you a walk round in the shop tomorrow, because we've got a few new things, haven't we?
Yeah.
We'll give you a walk round in the shop tomorrow, and I'll let Sarah talk. I will see you next week,